It's just not you.
The record reflect that.
All right. Go ahead and get started with Coach Hoiberg.
Looking at this matchup, you guys are red hot in that Saturday home game. Minnesota's lost 11 straight, third road game in 6 days. How do you guys handle being expected to win and win convincingly, being the hunted as opposed to being the hunted?
Well, we can't. We just have to have the exact same approach as what we've had, and that doesn't change. It hasn't changed all season, regardless of what has happened with our team, what kind of streak we've been on. We've certainly been through both, and you just have to keep going and be resilient in your preparation. And this is a very talented team that's been close. Last night in the second half, Maryland went on a big run, but they got off to a really good start last night. Lost in a single-digit game at Illinois, which is tough to do. Had a chance to take a lead with 5 minutes left against Penn State. So it's a team, since they've gotten Garcia back, is playing stretches of really good basketball, and those two bigs pose problems. And you see what Payne has been doing and how he is progressing in his freshman year. They're playing a lot of young players, that are very good and getting better. Ola Joseph, I think, has a heck of a bright future, and all their young players have played very good basketball, and they continue to get better each game, each time they step on the floor. So it's important for us to continue to go out, not get complacent. We've had some time. Blaze is still pretty sore, and not sure what we're going to have out of him. He'll certainly continue to get treatments around the clock, and we'll see how he feels on Saturday morning. But he has not done anything in practice the last couple days, and they pose some problems with bigger lineups. They'll play Battle at 3, they'll play Garcia at 4, and Payne at 5. So just have to go out there, whatever lineup is thrown at us, and continue to compete. And that's been the thing, and that I've been impressed with our group. It's been the message to this group, is just continue to go out and do the things that have made us a solid basketball team these last couple of weeks.
How's Marcus Lawrence?
He's fine. Yep, he has participated fully in practice.
Is he, you feel like you can deploy? How did you feel like you played defense on Sunday?
Yeah, I think defensively he's been rock solid, and the last couple games he's given us really good minutes. The fact that he went back out there as sore as he was, I think tells you everything you need to know as a competitor. And looking back at it, when you saw him after the game and he had some swelling in that foot, may have been a different story. But he wanted to be out there. He wanted to be out there with his teammates. He hit a huge free throw, and that put us up 2 possessions and really kind of sealed the game for us. But defensively, Jamarcus has given us a lot on the ball. Off ball, he understands our concepts, which is hard to do for a freshman. But when you have a couple guys out there with he and Sam H. And Denham, has given us certainly a lot of minutes as a freshman. You got young players out there that are giving us really quality possessions, especially on the defensive end.
We're going to talk to your seniors today. We're talking about just the level approach to games. How critical have they been throughout this season of avoiding the ups and downs, especially with so many young guys that have stepped in?
Yeah, it's been the leadership of this group is what has kept us afloat through all the adversity that we've faced. And, it's all about the older guys. The seniors are the ones that have been, the catalyst in that, in that area. Emmanuel continues to lead, even, in for a kid to stay as positive as he has when his future ended the way it did, or his career ended the way it did, to still be out there and be positive and be a role model for our younger players. Just shows what he helped us do this season. And, Sam Griesel, we're very fortunate that he grew up a mile from campus. And, to be able to get a guy like that to come in, he's all about winning. And I know I talked about this when Griesel came on his visit. He didn't say one thing about how many points you think I'm going to score, how many touches am I going to get. All he said is, I want to win. I want to help get the script flipped on Nebraska basketball. And that's exactly what he's done. And, Derek, I think this is his 3rd senior night. But, he just, the fact that we got Derek, that was the number one priority in the offseason, was getting Derek back. And, we're very thankful that he did and used his COVID year. And, when he's been on the floor for us, you've seen, with different lineups, with different combinations, the constant has been Derek and Sam, out there as the leaders. But, he just has provided so much for our team. And, I'm going to do whatever I can to help these guys along the way in their professional careers. I think they've all got long careers ahead of them. But they really deserve a lot of credit for helping us, get the narrative changed on this basketball program. And, it's all about them. It's all about the players. If your players don't buy in, you have no chance. And these guys have been bought in since day one.
You've used in post-game, as it relates to Griesel, the word control in a good way. That, you feel like he's been controlling the games in the last month or so. How have you seen him just grow into playing at the Big Ten level and getting comfortable with who he is as a player, not trying to do?
Well, I think when you look at it, we've come back from some pretty healthy deficits the last couple, two of the last 3 wins at home, and you have to have poise on the road to beat a team like Rutgers, especially when they go on a run. And when you have a player out there that can have control of the game like Griesel does, like Derek does, it's going to help you continue to have a chance regardless of what's going on the floor. And those guys don't let our players hang heads in the huddles. They keep them up. They keep them going. And when you have leadership on the floor and, the guys, continue to preach, believe what's going on, believe that we can do it, it makes everybody's life easier. And that's exactly what they've done. And you come back from 17 against Wisconsin. That's hard to do against a Wisconsin team when, 17 against that team's like 30 against a lot of teams, with low possession games. And then, to find a way to come back. Maryland's as hot as any team in our league right now. And we're down 8 with 7 minutes to go, and you find a way to come back and win. That's leadership. That's guys on the floor finding a way to keep the group together and getting it done. There's been no separation at all with this group, and that has everything to do with Sam Griesel and Derek Walker and Emmanuel Bandamel, and our older players have kept this group together.
You mentioned before this year you almost coached 3 different teams in this season, and we've talked some about the offensive rhythm this sort of third team has had, but how have you seen the defense come along on this kind of third group?
Yeah, it's getting better, and again, I give Jamarcus a lot of credit for guarding the ball. That was such a huge part of what we were doing early was Emmanuel's ability, to stay in front of his man, guarding the point guard. And Jamarcus has done a really good job of that. I thought Sam did a good job of that against Young in our last game. And, we've thrown some different defenses out there. And, I mentioned this a couple days ago. It's pretty rare you're going to throw 3 different zone defenses and get it in the middle of the season and be perfect. It's just really designed to steal possessions out there. And when you lose not only Emmanuel, but Juwan, and Blaze has been hurt through a lot of that, probably your 3 best defenders right there with those 3 guys. So we had to find a way to steal possessions. And, that was what the change was designed to do. And our guys have worked at it, and they've watched film on it. Every day we put an edit on their laptops, and to a man, they all go back and watch it. So it's been a really fun group to coach because of how bought in they've been on everything that we've thrown at them. And, when you throw those different defenses out there, we may play a zone defense 1 possession in a game, but that's, as you've seen in this league, that 1 possession may be the difference of winning and losing. And that's what I've been impressed with our guys, of how they've really bought in and tried to learn everything that we've thrown at them. Yeah, I have. The one that really stands out was my team at Iowa State, which I think was my best team, and we won a Big 12 tournament championship, and we were 3 seed, and George Niang, our best player, broke his foot in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, and played a really good team and ended up winning that game going away. He had 27 points, I think, in 25 minutes, including 10 on a broken foot. And when I got that news, I was actually getting interviewed by Craig Sager right after the game. And right before we went on air, our trainer came up and said it's broken. And, talk about almost having to do an interview in tears. He was as good as anybody in the country at that point. And then we went on and beat North Carolina in the second game to get to the Sweet 16 and ended up losing by 5 in the Garden to UConn, who won a national championship. So that, the adversity that we faced there to still beat one of the greatest blue blood programs in the history of the game. And then listen, the injury, we led the league in injuries. I know I've said this my first year in Chicago, which is a bad category to lead the league in, and missed the playoffs by a game. So yeah, we have had to deal with those types of things. Losing 2 starters like we did for the season, when you have season-ending injuries, just puts a lot of stress on everybody. But again, when you have a group that competes, when you have a group that comes to work every day, you're going to continue to have a chance, and that's exactly what our guys have done. And now they've got a little bit of belief and confidence because we've had some games that we've closed out. So just need to continue to do those things, and hopefully we continue to play well.
Right, not that you can control it, but the schedule, you don't have a midweek game. You prefer you would, given the stretch that you're on right now?
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot of games in a short amount of time, and when you're in a good rhythm, you do kind of like games stacking on top of each other. The one thing this is allowing us is a little time for Jamarcus and Blaze to hopefully get healthy for the stretch run. The bye games at the end of the year, usually isn't ideal. You want that more middle of the season where you can catch your breath and then get ready for the stretch run, to have it before, the last couple games, and then we get after Michigan State. I think we get another 5 days before we play Iowa in the finale. So, it's not ideal, but you play the schedule that's given to you. And, hopefully, again, this does give our guys a chance. Because we do have guys playing heavy minutes. And we track their loads after every game. And they were the highest they've been after the Maryland game. So it does give us a little bit of a chance, to step back. We had a day off, and then the next day was all skill work. We had a good film edit that game on things we need to continue to be better at. And then the last couple days have been all about putting in the game plan and getting ready for Saturday.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you, guys. Seamus might be in jeopardy.